Somewhere in the Arizona desert, there's a place that looks like the earth got bored one day, picked up a paintbrush and started doing swirls for fun, then forgot to stop. It's called The Wave, a geological masterpiece whispered about in hiker forums and splashed across bucket lists. It's so jaw-droppingly unreal that people have actually cried standing in front of it. Yeah, cried, over rocks. And honestly, fair enough. This isn't some Instagram filter situation. The colors, real. The patterns, carved over millions of years. First, torrential runoff from ancient storms carved the initial troughs. Then the wind took over as the master sculptor, polishing the curves for millennia. The recipe here is simple: sandstone, time, and a complete disregard for straight lines. You'll see rust reds, sunset oranges, and buttery yellows. These vibrant hues come from different minerals, like iron oxides that bled through the porous rock over eons. The streaks are so perfectly curved they'd make a calligraphy pen jealous. The sandstone here is called Navajo sandstone, and it's not just pretty, it's a geological celebrity. You can find it in other iconic places like Antelope Canyon, Zion National Park, and Capitol Reef. But here it's got its most flamboyant wardrobe on. Those colors and lines, they were built layer by layer as desert winds shifted direction and piled dunes into patterns before cementing them with minerals. It's basically the planet's version of marbling a cake. Except this one took millions of years and the baker was the wind. The sandstone layers were laid down during the Jurassic period. We're talking about 190 million years ago. That means the ground under your feet is older than the Rocky Mountains, older than the Grand Canyon, older than pretty much every excuse humans have ever made for bad decisions. You're literally walking on ancient sand dunes frozen in time. Each step is on a surface that was once a shifting, windswept dune in a vast desert sea, now petrified and shaped into waves so smooth it's like nature ironed them. The patterns you see? Those thin lines are annual layers, each one marking a different year in Earth's history, back when dinosaurs were stomping around somewhere else in Arizona. And the shapes? That's the wind's work. Millions of years of patiently pushing grains of sand into ripples, then hardening them into rock. It's art, but made with patience humans can't even fake. Here's the catch, and it's a big one. Only 64 people are allowed to visit per day. Not per hour, not per 100, per day. This strict limit isn't just to create hype, it's a crucial conservation measure. The delicate sandstone fins are incredibly fragile and could be worn down to dust by heavy foot traffic. So it's basically the rock version of an exclusive VIP lounge, minus the champagne, but with a much nobler purpose. You can't just show up either. There's a lottery, and your odds of getting in are about as good as finding a parking spot at a busy mall on Christmas Eve. Thousands apply every month, and most walk away with nothing but crushed dreams and a reminder that luck is not their strong suit. The Wave has an odd way of turning grown adults into desperate optimists. There are people who've applied for the permit lottery every single year for a decade, and still haven't set foot there. They plan entire vacations around the possibility, booking flights and hotels with fingers crossed, only to end up exploring nearby locations when the desert lottery gods say no. And don't get us wrong, nearby is still gorgeous. You've got White Pocket, Buckskin Gulch, and Paria Canyon. These places are incredible in their own right, but they're all basically the Wave's friends who live in its shadow, the understudies to the main event. Then there are the lucky few who get a permit on their first try. These people are often treated with the same awe as someone who found a gold nugget while taking out the trash. Some even end up hiking it alone because their friends didn't win permits, which is awkward, but also kind of satisfying if you're the one holding the golden ticket. The lottery happens in two ways. Online advanced lottery. You apply 4 months ahead, pick your dates, and hope. If you win, you pay a small fee, plus the unspoken cost of having to brag responsibly so your friends don't hate you. Daily in-person lottery held in Kanab, Utah. Picture a room full of hopeful strangers, the air thick with tension and whispered prayers. Everyone holds a number, silently sizing each other up like contestants in a high-stakes game show. When your number's called, the room erupts in a mix of cheers and groans. You feel like you've won something priceless, because you have. Even after winning the permit lottery, your journey has just begun. You're still not in the clear. There's no paved road, no tour bus, no gift shop selling overpriced water bottles. This isn't a theme park, it's a genuine wilderness adventure. You'll need to hike 6 miles round trip through heat that can reach 100 degrees Fahrenheit, with no marked trail. The landscape is a mesmerizing but disorienting sea of sand and rock, where every direction can start to look the same. Lose your sense of direction here, and the desert won't hesitate to roast you alive like a forgotten pizza. Rangers have rescued people who underestimated it, and sadly not everyone makes it back. The Bureau of Land Management hands you a map, which is basically like getting a treasure map drawn by someone who only vaguely remembers what the treasure looked like. The directions? Follow landmarks. One rock looks like a hamburger. Another ridge looks like a sleeping dragon, assuming you tilt your head and squint. The most famous unofficial trail marker is Hamburger Rock. Yes, it looks like a hamburger. The problem? There are at least 3 other rock formations along the way that look almost exactly like a hamburger. If you pick the wrong one as your landmark, congratulations. You've just earned yourself a bonus hour of wandering in the desert. No stepping off the designated area, not just to protect the rock, but because some spots are slippery enough to send you sliding like a penguin with regrets. Pack way more water than you think you'll need. A gallon per person is the bare minimum, because dehydration here is real. No graffiti, carving, or "I was here" nonsense. The rock is older than any human language, so let's keep it pristine. Carry a GPS or compass cell service here is about as reliable as a chocolate teapot. People think deserts are all heat, but the wave plays by its own rules. Summer, like walking in a giant hairdryer. Winter, mornings so cold your water bottle freezes. Spring, fall, gorgeous, until a sudden storm can turn the trail into a mud trap and the washes into mini rivers. Rain here is rare but powerful. A clear sky can turn dark in minutes, unleashing flash floods that have reshaped parts of the terrain in just hours. And that famous smooth sandstone? Yeah, it's incredibly slippery when wet. Which means if you come here in bad weather, you might be doing an unplanned impression of a cartoon character slipping on a banana peel. Except the banana peel is the entire landscape. Right nearby is the second wave. Smaller, tighter curves, more concentrated lines. Then there's the alcove, a dramatic hollow that looks like it's waiting for an ancient desert concert to start. You might also stumble on fossilized dinosaur tracks. Nearby hidden gems without a permit requirement include White Pocket, the wave, but more chaotic. Swirls in every direction. Buckskin Gulch, one of the longest slot canyons in the world. Steamboat Rock, a sandstone block shaped like a ship in the desert. No buzzing robots allowed. Drones disturb wildlife, ruin the quiet, and sometimes crash into the fragile rock. Yes, people have tried. And yes, they've been fined heavily. Expect to see bighorn sheep balancing on cliffs, lizards sunning on rocks, ravens following hikers for snacks, and maybe even a California condor, a bird with a nearly 10-foot wingspan. Geologists say the wave's curves come from cross-bedding and mineral staining. Translation: wind piled sand into layers, changed direction now and then, while minerals dyed each layer with reds, oranges, purples, yellows, and creams. When you finally arrive, it's quiet, no traffic, no city noise. The colors are so vivid that photos almost look fake. And there's something humbling about knowing you're one of only a handful of people there that day. The wave first started showing up in photographs in the 1980s, stayed low profile until the early 2000s, and became famous thanks to the internet. Its exclusivity keeps it pristine but hard to visit. Your day starts early. You check your gear, water, snacks, map, camera, emergency kit. You hike, doubt your directions, then spot the swirl in the distance. The ground ripples under your feet like a frozen wave. You stop, you stare. And every hour of trying to win the lottery, every bead of sweat, feels worth it. So yeah, the wave is stunning, ancient, exclusive, slightly dangerous, and completely worth the hype. If you ever win that golden ticket to see it, bring water, bring a camera, and bring a mental note to remind yourself, this is one of the rare moments where nature flexes so hard. Humans just stand there, speechless. Oh, and speaking of rare, if you thought this was cool, stick around, because I've got plenty more nature wonders to show you. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Don't worry, it won't ask you for a permit. This is Earthniverse, slowly building a video nature encyclopedia. Stick around, subscribe, and let's explore together.